Hello there, my name is Paul Karff and I've been a home brewer since 1991, and as much as I love brewing beer, I also like drinking beer. But drinking beer has gotten to be very boring for me. So I decided that I wanted to do something different in order to make the experience of drinking beer a lot more fun. So I want to introduce you to KegDroid. KegDroid is basically our fancy tap that is controlled by an Android tablet with an application there that you have to authenticate in order to be able to drink the beer. So we are protecting our sacred beer, and then it will actually pour our beer for us. So let's give you a tour of the KegDroid. The first part of the KegDroid is the Zoom tablet. The Zoom tablet is running Android ICS right now, and the application, which we'll demonstrate here in a minute, this is where you do the authentication. In order to authenticate, you have to have a badge. Now the badges that we're using are NFC. We haven't implemented an RFID badge, but you could. And down here you'll see that this is the NFC reader. The reader connects to an Arduino microcontroller that's in the back. I'll show you in a second. But we're using these NFC tags, which are they're very simple and very inexpensive. They got various kinds. As long as you use the MyFair version of the tags, they seem to work with Arduino quite well. So you'll badge in to the through the NFC reader. The application will read your badge ID. It'll do a lookup in the back end. We're using App Engine, so we're using Google technologies for this system. Once we authenticate you, we come back with your picture and your name from your Google Plus ID that we have access to. So once you've authenticated, then you'll be able to select. So let's go around the back and show you the Arduino microcontroller. So we have an access door in the back here, and you'll see that the Arduino is right there, and it's basically what's connecting the solenoid valves, the flow sensors, and the NFC reader to our system, and then it plugs in through the ADK to the Android tablet. And then we'll look at the flow sensors inside and the solenoid valves. So we have two flow sensors. These are from SwissFlow. These are the SwissFlow 800, SF800 sensors, and then two solenoid valves here. And so what happens is once you're ready to pour beer and you click pour, the data from here gets reset to 0, and then you start pouring by opening these valves, and the impeller inside the sensor rotates, and as it rotates it puts out pulses, and you count the pulses. And with those pulses, we then determine what the flow rate is, or how much flow is gone, by simply counting the pulses, and you have so many pulses per ounce or so many pulses per milliliter. So enough talking, let's demonstrate what this wonderful machine does. So using my friend David, David is the actual cameraman today who helps me a lot with this project, and I'm using his tag, and so we're going to authenticate as David and actually go in and get beer. So we scan the badge, and you'll see the application, and we'll demonstrate that in a minute. But if you look, you'll see David's image here, and you'll see David's name here, and it's giving him instructions to select his beer. Well, if he's interested, he can drink my brown ale that I made by tapping the label, and then you get the buttons here, and you can see you can select either a 1 ounce, an 8 ounce, or a 12 ounce beer, and then you would just click pour. Or if you decided you didn't want to drink that, you cancel. But actually, we have the Sculpin IPA from Ballast Point on tap today as well, and that's one of my favorites, so I'm going to have that. So we're going to do an 8 ounce pour. I can select it, but it's already selected for me. And I'm going to open up the valve here so you can actually see how it does it automatically. I click pour, and the flow rate here indicates how much beer is flown. And it's very foamy today, but it stopped at 8 ounces, and we've done. It's reset itself. So if we want to zoom in here to the application, we'll show you what the application does again when you authenticate. So I'm going to be swiping my badge over the NFC reader, and you can see that once it reads the badge, it authenticated and puts the data up on the screen, and then you can select your beer. And again, if you're not sure what you want to do, if you decided you didn't want this beer or don't want a beer right now, you want to go get something out of a bottle in the refrigerator, you simply hit cancel, and it resets, ready for the next guy. So this is the KegDroid, and I'd love to hear your comments about it. And I hope that you will be seeing these around the world soon. Cheers.